What's good, everybody in the building, man? It's your boy 20D2 Wild checking in once again with a Rainier Arms exclusive with Lone Wolf on the Dusk 19R Compensated. Now, this gun, I'm gonna be 100%, just tell you off the rip, man, A1 steak sauce, okay? Definitely a very solid overall piece of equipment right here. Now, we have been for quite some time now, like we're getting into that age on this channel where we have tried guns of similar fashion so we can compare, contrast, and give a better opinion on something than just not knowing about previous guns and just going off of just the first thing that we shoot. And what I mean by that is, of course, Lone Arms and their Dusk 19 is a Glock 19 clone or a Glock pattern pistol of the Glock 19. It's a compensated version, but it's their version. It's their own, you know, parts and pieces and aftermarket parts and pieces that are utilized and made within this gun. So this is their own gun though, built from the ground up, the Dusk 19. Now the 19R is a Rainier Arms exclusive with them on the Dusk 19. The reason why I even mentioned though everything else is because we've shot in compensated Glock 19s. The MR920 with the compensator on the end. We've also shot, I don't know if you can see it, but right there we have an Arc Division 19 compensator from Arc Division. We've also shot our Glock 19 with the Ramjet afterburner from Radiant Weapons. And now we have the Lone Wolf Dusk 19R in collaboration with Rainier Arms. And what I gotta say about this one off the rip, and it's not just because I recently got this one, in my opinion, is probably the best out of the box as far as shooters go. Because obviously when you have the MR19 and you know, buy it, add the comp, you gotta adjust those springs. When you buy an Arc Division, you gotta get a certain spring because you're compensated. When you get a Ramjet afterburner, you have to buy the little, you know, the springs, the multiple springs that allow you to run the gun compressed. Because with me personally, the way I hold my gun and I hold it up high, I can sometimes cause there to be failures to eject and failures to feed with running that type grip. Now, when running the Lone Wolf and it coming out of the factory this way, built from the ground up, I found that there was no issues whatsoever with this pistol. It handled itself extremely great, along with the compensated port that did not take away or add from the barrel. And why I say that is because with some of the compressors out there that we've shot, they add on extra weight or add on an extra inch to the end of the barrel. Some have those chambers where it's no barrel, it's just a chamber there. The barrel starts back here. This one is one that is ported within the barrel and it maintains its same exact length. Very similar to what you have with Arc Division, but Arc Division is just a slide, whereas this is a whole entire gun. And it's half the cost. This is a very great gun at a very affordable price coming out the gate. Now, I'm gonna read off some of the specs and I'll talk a little bit about it as well, just so you guys can know. I mean, it's actually a ton of specs, so I'm gonna try to not talk too much. You have a 19-degree grip angle for improved point ability. So I did notice that this was a whole entire different grip feeling than your overall Glock out there. And a lot of people definitely complain about Glock in that angle. Some people are not fans of it. I guess, like, I don't hate it, but I do like this more. I like this angle a little bit more. It gives me a better bore axis feel overall, getting higher up on the gun, so I like that. It has a extended slide lock lever guard, which, I mean, I don't really have an issue with that, so I don't know, but I guess people were having issues with that down the road. Integrated takedown frame scallops for ease of function, so you take this down the same way as you do as a Glock. You have the LWA grip textures on here, which are phenomenal, feel great in hand. A really nice grip texture overall. It's not too hard, not too soft. It definitely digs into the skin and gives you an overall great grip of the gun. You have a lower control flare. I'm guessing that must be for the trigger. I mean, that part, it's a flare somewhere. There's a whole bunch of flare, but you can see obviously the trigger guard space is extremely big and extended out there for those big fingers. If you want to wear gloves or any of that type of ordeal, it works phenomenally. You have an integrated flare mag well, so you can easily get in and out on that. So I'm just doing it. There's a little bit, finally I hit something, you feel me? But the integrated mag well, a flared mag well, works very well as well with reloads. And you got swappable back straps back here as well, but I have the regular ones in. And the new Gen 3-4 compatible dust cover. So yeah, I like this one as well compared to your other just regular Glock ones out here. The Picatinny pokes out a little bit more. Now I did run an X300 and it did come off. I will not lie, but I don't know if I had it completely locked in. Once it came off, I just didn't even care about it no more because it doesn't look right running one on here in all honesty. I probably need to run like a TLR7 or something like that. Now, you have a 1/3 co-witness suppressor height sights, which work really well. We're running a MetPro light, and this is the MPO, which we'll definitely be doing some reviews on the MetPro lights because they have a lot of great ones out there. We do have that 1/3 co-witness right there lined up perfectly, so you can run it with your irons or with the red dot. If the red dot goes out, you got your irons. 416 SS PVD coated barrel with new Dusk 19 profile, hood pocket and lateral ribs to reduce bearing surface for faster cycling and coat wear resistance. So that's another thing. Now we get into the meat and potatoes, at least for me, that kind of pushes this away from your typical Glock and what I like about this more than your typical Glock, and that is the trigger. The trigger is a Lone Wolf 1 trigger, 661 T6 black anodized trigger shoe, 416 SS PVD safety lever, improved geometry for trigger take up and decreased energy to actuate, 30% reduction in peak performance from OEM trigger, and Glock generation 3 to 5 trigger slimline and subcompact verified, peak force 3.6 pounds, which is a very light trigger. I think I just did like a review on a 1911 recently. I think it was 3.5. So I really like the trigger that they have here. You have the little safety lever and you have a little bit of like this take up, or I think I called it mush. Somebody told me take up. I thought, I ain't gonna lie, and it makes sense though. I thought take up was when like you let go, like taking, like letting go. But take up, you have a little bit of that, and then you hit a flat wall, almost like in a 90-degree angle right here, and it becomes like a flat face trigger, and then boom, crisp pull, and it's consistent. I really, really like this trigger. I like this trigger more than a standard Glock trigger. I would need to compare it to the Glock performance trigger, like head on, back and forth, to give you guys a very 100% answer there, but I like this more than your standard just Glock trigger. Very close to probably even saying it close to the performance trigger. I like the performance trigger, but like I said, I need more time with both to give you a 100% answer there, but it's a very, I don't know, the overall feel just is nice and crisp. Overall length is 6.95 inches. Barrel length, breech to muzzle is 3.90. So I'm guessing it's saying from here to the tip, not including that part right there. The height, 4.6 inches without sight, 4.94 with the sight, with the suppressor height. Upper width is 1, lower width is 1.14, mag well width is 1.23, weight without magazine, 19.8 ounces. The chamber, of course, is 9mm. OEM and aftermarket Parker's compatible. So yeah, you can do what you want to do, play around with it. I would leave it stock. I don't think there's anything that you need to add on to it, in my humble opinion. You got an LWA nitrate SS guide rod and end cap, extended mag release button, which I like that. You have a lot of space right there, and extended takedown button as well. And you comes with 3 15-round magazines. These are KCIs. Not really familiar with them, but these are Korean mags. Okay, I've heard about these. I haven't had any issues with them, at least at the end of the day, so I like them. Large backstrap and cable lock that is featured in the box. So you have this featured here. This is the box it comes in. You have your gun alongside with your 2 magazines, and it's a very solid gun out the gate. It comes with a lot of goodies along with it: the compensated barrel, the great trigger, the great overall grip. There's a ton of people that run Lone Wolf's lowers on Glock slides, just let alone because of the lower, the trigger, the grip, and all that above. But now the slide to go along with it, with that compensated barrel, I mean, there's little to no recoil, a great recoil reduction, and it's a phenomenal gun to add to the collection. Also, alongside with the irons here, you have a regular, just black irons, but the front, you have the tritium sight on there as well. So very nice. So see, yeah, I don't think I had it all the way on. Yeah, so you're gonna have to, I have to use my other light, which is, that's why this is just not put on all the way. It's not put on all the way. I need the littler Picatinny mount, but the reason why I haven't did that was more so to show you if it is Glock 19 compatible, which it is. Obviously, you can see there's a little bit more space with this X300 because, like I stated before, I wouldn't probably, it fits in this holster. It fits in it, just like a Glock 19, but I would probably run it the fact that this gun sits so far back with this big old light, I probably would go for a TLR holster to go along with it. But this is it in here as is. It works, it fits your Glock 19 holster. And then this is like a Glock 45, which is pretty much, you know, it's the same as a Glock 19, but it has the 17 frame. So yeah, they both fit very well. So keep that in mind. They will be compatible with your Glock 19 holsters as well. The gun overall shot really good out the gate. I'm gonna be 100% honest, I cannot think on the top of my head if I had any failures to feed. I don't think I did. I actually had took this out and shoot a couple times. The first time I took it out to shoot, this optic flew off and hit me in the head. So it was like, it was TKO on the gun for that rest of that day. We brought it back out and shot it some more, getting everything locked tight down, and it was just going. It was just going. The compensator definitely make the gun a little bit louder, in my opinion, but it definitely does well with the compensation and bringing that muzzle down, and it doesn't give you any like concussion or anything like that. Some guns are very snappy when it comes to the compensator. This one handles it very, very well, and the grip in the lower is what really like makes this gun shine, in my opinion. The overall slider, it does what it needs to do, but what they got here with Lone Wolf with the trigger and then the grip is what really sets the game apart. And this is a great carry, and you can even utilize it as a home defense gun. And Rainier Arms, Lone Wolf, they did their thing on this one. So yeah, guys, let me know you guys' thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. As always, I love you guys. Thank you for the constant love and support on this channel, and I will see you guys and girls later on the next one. I'm out. Peace.